Hello, everyone. Welcome to our fourth session of Rime of the Frostmaiden. I am Simon
Hello.
at Wandering DM. Hello, and I'll be GMing tonight's game. Let's, without further ado, go around the table, meet all of our friendly players for tonight, and delve back into the adventure where we left off last week. Let's do a quick round of the table, beginning with the person on my right on the overlay. And that's our wizard, Sarkia.
What? Oh,
Hi.
that's me. Um, yeah, I forgot that Zoom won't unmute me if it's not the main window. So, yeah, hi. Hi. I am Kelly, the opera geek. I play Sarkia, the moderately weird wizard with a familiar that I'm. Oh, he's right next to me. But yes, he'll be on my desk in a minute. Yes, that's me. Fun times. We're all gonna die.
Up next, Mr. Fancy Pants himself.
I am Pirate Jesus, or Fancy Pants, or Ragnar. Perhaps they'll find out someday. And I am playing the impeccably dressed ranger of the group, who is here to make sure that things are fun.
Next up is the current rogue of the group, Alice.
Alice is pretty much a useless companion at the moment.
I'd say that.
The only thing that's cool about her is that flowing hair that, the little bit of wind air she seems to carry around her. But other than that, she's socially awkward at times. She doesn't seem very experienced and, not very good at whatever she attempts to do at the moment.
Up next is Dugan's Hole very own town greeter.
Hello, I'm Eden. I'm very happy to be here tonight. Hello, I have the children. I'm taking care of them, and yes, I'm the party cleric, and the number one partner for the cuddle pile, voted on 6 years running.
I'm so glad that I came back from getting the dog to hear that. That was great.
And last but not least, the should I say pummeler or powerhouse of the group, puncher of Duergars.
Official Dugan's Hole puncher here.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Diana. I'll be playing Halifine, the monk of the party, and probably the only person who would appreciate Etton's cuddles right now, because it's been a day.
But would Helifine appreciate them, or would Diana appreciate them?
Halifine would.
You
Diana's
heard
sort
that.
of a cactus human.
You're a cat in human form.
Yeah, exactly. Don't touch me. Pet me with your eyes.
I will remember this when the party faces a beholder.
Oh God.
So, what do you recall happened last week?
Nothing good.
Well,
It's not true.
We got the kids. Got the kids.
indeed.
We fought a god. God.
No, we fought a dwarf with
God.
some issues.
God complex.
God. We met
Who
his
wore a
three
crown
buddies.
of intestines, so yes.
Look. I got nothing. That's it. Just look, Kelly.
You indeed found these three, and I'm gonna have to retcon just a little thing. I said they were wearing a tunic with the like dark yellow symbol of a downward winged serpent on it, but it's not that it is sewn into the shirt. It's that they're wearing an emblem that is pinned to the tunic with that same symbol. So less varsity shirt and more subtle means to identify one as a member of the Centaurum. But yes, you ventured through a blizzard and into this lodge a few miles out from Dugan's Hole, where you encountered this Dorgar, this strange fella who believes himself to be a god of some sort, and killed the former inhabitant of the lodge to take their place, at least according to Corin and Cannon, the two speaking wolves that drove you there. They were in need of someone who would not hesitate to put an end to that Dwargar's life. It so happens that this Dwargar was led there by, well, not necessarily led, but followed by three kobolds. Their names escape me as I'm frantically looking through my notes. Holgi, Snorp, and Zilbo, who were part scared of this creature and part happy and entertained to follow him around. There was a discussion with Ragnar near the end of the episode between the three kobolds and Mr. Fancy Pants, but we'll pick the game back up during that same time. I would like to know, while Ragnar is busy speaking with the kobolds, what do the rest of you do?
Etten was comforting the children, providing them with fish jerky and warming their hands.
Why do you dislike them so much, Etten, that you would give them fish jerky?
Oh no, fish jerky is a staple of Dugan's Hole. They've been raised on it since they were teething. Knucklehead trout jerky.
I have nothing to say about the cuisine of your town.
Yes, come on in. You can share some warmth and some knucklehead jerky.
Yeah, Finn has his mouth full of jerky and says, "This is the best thing I've ever eaten, ma'am."
It's my very special recipe.
Don't tell my mom it's better than what she makes.
Oh, I'm so pleased to hear that.
Kid, he's definitely going to tell your mother that.
I would simply provide her with the recipe.
I'll lean over to Sarka and say she'll probably find out when the kids throw up jerky all over the place anyway, don't you think?
Oh, these wormlenders don't understand, do they, children?
Helifine is probably, like, straightening her hair and pinning her buns back in place, and she's retrieved the one dart that she threw and put it back where it belongs. She's just straightening her outfit.
Alize is focused on the fancy pants and trying to keep an eye on what's happening.
Sadkia will break away from the lovely smell of fish jerky being chewed by children and search the body of the would-be god.
You go over to the body of this now, regular-shaped Dwargar, because we remember he enlarged himself during the fight, and you sort of go through his stuff. He doesn't have any, backpack or traveling gear. He seems to be wearing a thick coat that has been stuffed with layer upon layer of wool. from the inside, but he's wearing it under the armor that he had on him. I will just get his stat very quickly. And of course, that's when I...
Should you be doing that? He's deceased after all.
there we go.
Yes, it's much better to do it when they're deceased than when they're alive.
But isn't that
I disagree.
disrespect? No. Oh,
He
okay.
was wearing intestines on his head.
Yes.
We don't know who they belonged to.
I'd rather think that's the point.
Maybe they were ancestral. Maybe it was bequeathed to him by his dead uncle.
They're still steaming.
Okay,
It's so
that's a good point.
boring, uncontested.
It's what? Sorry.
It's uncontested. It's boring.
Mm.
Like, he's not gonna wake up and notice you.
I mean, yes, but also you have to remember, I unfortunately am not quite as fast as you.
I mean,
Okay, but I
don't
can't
feel that
watch
fast.
this. I'm gonna turn around and face the wall while she loots the body.
Looking through his stuff, you notice that this Dwergar has an intricate, very well made, dark gray tinted, I guess, plate armor. Both over in some places and under the coat.
It
Full
is
plate, you say?
unfortunately Duergar sized, though, correct?
It is Duergar sized, which means that it would fit a medium creature that is roughly the shape of a dwarf. However, it could be, give a smith a bit of time, and they can, if someone bigger were to wear it, smith could add on plates where it's missing. If it's someone shorter, they could hammer it into shape once more to fit someone smaller. If it is magical in any regards, it would resize to whoever wears it.
So it's plate, you said, correct?
Yes. To make sure I didn't mess up, it is plate armor. What we also call a full plate armor.
Quick question. When I added my spells for D&D Beyond, it added two of the ones I chose as ritual only? Do I have to do a ritual if it does that?
You can always cast it using a spell slot. You would just need to check one of your spell slots, basically,
Yoki.
without...
So either way, we're going to be here for a little bit, I think. So Sarkia will take the 10 minutes it takes to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
You cast Detect Magic on this Duergar, and you notice that the armor is magical. He has a pair of gauntlets, heavy, fur-trimmed, brown gauntlets that he was wearing under his even bigger plate gauntlets. They bear, because they're made of bear fur, but you don't know that yet. They bear a bunch of runes written in Dwarven on them. And his warhammer also glows magically. So you've got gauntlets, plate, and warhammer.
Will it interrupt her ritual, the 10-minute there, if at any point I just come along while she's focusing around or doing whatever she's doing, and I just sort of lift the Dwarger's head up enough to sort of start hacking it off?
No.
I don't think so. No.
I mean,
Okay.
unless you were to. So the way I see it is she's focusing her thing to detect magic in general. So unless you bother Sarkia,
No,
then it's
I'm not trying to like bump into her. I'm just so she's shuffling around. I'm assuming she's doing something, and I don't assume she needs the head. And I assume it doesn't take me the next 10 minutes to finish talking to the ratlings. So I would once I finished talking to them, I would have at some point during that I would have got up and saw that she's messing with the body. It would have reminded me, and I would have went over there and drawn a sword and lifted his head slightly and tried to hack off the head.
the 3 kobolds follow you along into the room. Hey, what
Just
you
give
doing?
them the- Does it look like I'm doing?
Yeah, you're chopping a head. Yeah, you're gonna eat the head? Oh, we could boil it in water and then eat the head.
I will flick the intestines towards them. Like you can have that part.
We can make blood sausages. Ooh, blood sausages. Mammoth blood sausages. Do you think the mammoth still had your buns with meat on him? Well, I hope the door guard didn't eat it from inside. Quick, quick. Get the intestines. Go. Wrap them up. Meet you at the mammoth.
With her eyes still closed and doing her spell directed at Ragnar, who hasn't muted himself. Sarkia will just kind of open one eye and be like, how long has that mammoth been? You know what? Let them do it. And she'll close her eye again and continue her ritual to detect magic. Looking at Etten, can she see whether or not he's in plate?
It's a good question. Etten.
I would say he's mostly in children at the moment. Right?
He's
Etten
covered in
wears,
children's.
There's
Etten
only
wears scale mail.
I believe Etten is the only one of us, though, who could eventually use plate. I think. So Sarkia will kind of look over towards Etten. Etten, would you like to come here for just a minute?
Oh yes, okay. I'm gonna
No
assume...
children. No children. He just cut off his head. No children.
I mean, I'm literally walking past the children with the head, just like waving politely.
Yeah, just lay down here, children, and I'll take my cloak. I assume I have some sort of winter garb that I can drape over them.
Oh, you
You
all
just lay
have
your little
winter.
heads down. And I do not have sleep. Otherwise, I would just put them to sleep. But okay, what is it that you need, Sarkia?
This deceased person has. Well, listen. Do you use a hammer? A big hammer, smash people?
I don't like to smash people, but I carry a little mace here for a protection.
What about any armor heavier than that? And she gestures at his scale mail.
Well, you see, I'm but a humble fisherman, so I have what I have at my disposal.
Sarkia will take one of the gloves off the Durgar.
The bearskin ones or the metal ones?
The metal ones. The bearskin ones were what, medium?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Etten, can I see your hand?
Oh yes, here you go.
She will slide it onto his hand to see if it will fit, like if it will magically adjust itself.
Just looking at the gauntlet and looking at Etten's hand, you realize that his hand is about twice the size of the gauntlet. But as you slip it over his hand, it seems to enlarge in front of your eyes. The metal plates distort to fit comfortably and also provide the same amount of protection they would have.
Oh, that's a neat trick.
Does the smell and horrible filth remain? Because the dwarf is covered in filth, right?
Yes,
He's
that's
going
not
to have
cleaned
to
away.
wash. But to be fair, do we know
It's
if Etten
horrible.
smells okay anyway? Let's be honest.
Etten probably smells like trout.
Yes.
He's a fisherman.
So she will give him the other gauntlet and say, "There, just you can put those on." My detect magic would it have told me what they did, like what he's getting?
It only
No.
says that it is magical.
Okay.
You
So
would
I'll have
need to either
I need
cast Identify
That's right. I don't have identify yet.
or
Right.
spend 1 hour fiddling with it. The difference is if you spend 1 hour fiddling with it, yes, you do identify it, but also if it is cursed, you activate the curse.
Right. So
Lovely.
we're just going to let him wear them for right now, and see what happens.
But just so we're clear, there are 3 items: the suit of dwarven plate, which comes with the iron gauntlet, the steel gauntlets. There's the pair of bearskin gauntlets, and the warhammer.
Yeah. So I just gave him the gauntlets for right now, and I'll hand him the actual plate, and just say, "Do you mind carrying this back to town? It might fit you eventually."
Oh, this is quite heavy. But okay, I'll do it for you.
Thank you. Fancy pants.
He's already left the room because he walked past the children waving with his severed head, and he appears to have gone outside.
All right. So, Sarkia doesn't see any use for the Warhammer except to sell it at the moment. So she will attempt to carry that, but she's going to.
Would you like me to carry that for you as well? You
know what,
seem
you're
like
such a- you're such a
your arms
gentleman.
might be not so strong.
You are correct. And she will hand the Warhammer to him. It's like, I just imagine Etten at this point just carrying the purses of all the women in the party, just like at the mall. But Sarkia will pick up the bearskin gloves as well and walk outside to find the ranger and say, I don't know if you want to have a look at these. They are magical. I assume that you would at least be interested.
These are the same horrible, filthy gloves that are on the dwarf.
You can wash them.
Yes. They were under his metal gauntlets.
Oh, it's even better.
Sweaty.
He's gonna look at them with a curious eye.
Sarkia waves her hand and prestidigitates all the filth off of them. Is that better for you? Does that meet your criteria?
Oh, isn't that handy? And then he stops for a minute as if he feels he made a joke to himself. And then he will just sort of take them without a word and instead just turn back and look around. And eventually, after a moment, we'll just shout out, "It's done!" To the wild, because I'm assuming I don't see the wolves just like sitting out there waiting for us.
Hashtag retroactively apply prestidigitation to the stuff I gave Etten because I forgot I had it. So that he doesn't stink.
Good. I would like to know, during that time, Halifine and Alize, what do you do? There's still going to be another 10-minute for the ritual, and then the handing out of magical items. The kobolds have left the room.
Is there anything in the room? Also would be interested in searching the room.
There is still this half-frozen chest that pops out of the ground, that's been almost completely frozen over. Otherwise, if she's interested in whale blubber, there's plenty of it in the dead whale.
I think I'll try to open the chest if I can.
So the chest is, like I said, covered in
Ice?
in ice. A thin, like an inch thick of ice around it. You would need to
Who had
probably
warmed
break it.
the bars before?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay. Etin, do you mind heating this chest up too so we can see what's inside?
Well, sure, I guess I can do that.
Thank you.
This whole time, Heliphine's been standing facing the wall and probably just covering her eyes, waiting until the noise stops from looting the body and presumably from Sarkia leaving and her conversation with Ed. And so she's still just standing there, just
Man,
Okay.
when you turn around, there's going to be a headless body now.
it's gonna be really awkward.
So Alize, you get close to the chest, and how do you break this sheet of ice?
Etin is going to warm it up for me to melt the ice.
So last time I cast Sacred Flame on the bars, but in looking at Sacred Flame, it is radiant damage, not it's flame-like radiance, not actual flame. So,
But it's the let's narratively
You
put
do
it
worship
this
the
way.
sun god, though,
Yeah,
right?
you worship the sun god, so it's a radiance that also brings with it like a spark of sunlight, of summer warmth. So it melts the ice a bit, enough for Alize to reach the lock of said chest, because of course it's locked.
Of course. But I should be able to take care of that, even though I wasn't very successful with the bars. So, I will make an attempt.
And with a 14, you
Oh,
succeed.
sorry, I keep standing. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. It just rolls with advantage every time, but I'll take the first number when it doesn't. But you crouch down and you begin fiddling with the lock. The mechanism inside is still very well kept because the ice that formed around it seemed to have formed almost instantaneously, instead of over time as water would have filled the lock in and everything. So it's fairly easy to open. Once you've unlocked it and opened the chest, there are a lot of giant-sized tools in them. A pair of tongs, a hammer, a few picks. You go through them. Of course, they're all so big that a human-sized person could not wield them properly. But inside the chest, probably something that was discarded a long time ago, is a about yay big, a scrimshaw goat, well carved, and very pretty to look at.
I picked it up. Is there anything, like, what does it look like?
It's a goat carved from whalebone. It's
Like
got
how big it is? Is it just like a small thing?
Oh, it's about this big. It's about the size of a like a cantaloupe.
Okay. Yeah, I pick it up, start taking a look at it to see, if I can tell it was carved by like roughly with like big hands or more dexterous, like tiny details.
I mean, without a check, because you take your time looking it over, like a few minutes, you realize that it's been carved by non-giant hands, that's for sure. You don't know if it was, human, elven, dwarven.
Yeah.
Exactly. But you can assess part of its worth. That thing is worth at least 25 gold. Like, it is a work of art. It should belong in, like, a private collection or a museum of some kind.
Nice. So I pick up some clothing from my backpack and wrap it up carefully
Okay.
and place it in my backpack.
All right.
And if I have additional time, I'll just try to sketch out the weapons I see in there.
Oh yeah, take a few minutes. They're basically what you would find in human villages. A mining pick, an ice pick, a hand axe, tongs and stuff like that. It's just they're giant sized.
Okay, so there's no special carvings or anything like this. Just the
No, it's
pretty basic weapons, but just
it's
big.
basic, and it's like the person went for functional over stylish.
Okay.
So it'll do the job, but it's not pretty to look at.
Got it.
I mean, you could probably clubber someone over the head with like the hammer that's in there, but it's just wielding it is so
nothing.
strange. You can barely wrap both of your hands around the handle.
Okay.
So after all this is said and done, at some point Elifine would turn around when maybe you all hear Ragnar's voice shout out into the now dying blizzard. It's done. And a few seconds after your shout, you would see these lumbering shapes of the two large wolves walking toward the lodge.
I'll kind of like speed walk to catch up with them.
Is he gone? Asks one of them.
We'll just sort of toss the head in response so that it rolls out, somewhere close to where they are.
The other wolf approaches the head, gives it a sniff, moves it a bit with its snout, and then bites down over where the nose was. And just like a dog with a toy, like, begins to shake its head violently left and right, throwing whatever was left inside that skull all over the place, and then spitting it out. And turns to the other one and growls at the second one. The second one takes a few steps closer to you and says, "We were right in asking you then. This is our home. We will not eat you. You may leave."
Yes. About the leaving bit, the children are going to need a little bit of rest, and they seem to be scared. And I'm going to look to Helifine and the others because I'm scared of the wolves. So perhaps we rest here for a few hours before we leave.
Why didn't you kill him yourself?
I don't believe they could.
It's he wasn't that tough. I mean, if I could beat him, then it's...
Has nothing to do with physical.
They say, one of them turns around and says, "Norsu tried. Norsu died."
What was it that... Why exactly did he die? That dwarf, as my friend here pointed out, was not that difficult.
He was real gross, but like not super tough.
I
or
mean,
anything.
we did sort of catch him when he just woke up, the Warhammer and all, that's...
"You got lucky," one of the wolves says. "That encounter was marked as deadly in D&D Beyond."
Whatever is
Not
that-
for
is that-
Helifine!
Is that
I mean,
is
you
that a
didn't
tone?
kill him by yourself, okay?
No,
I
but they
didn't
say
but
Norsu
I was there.
Norsu tried to trample him. He
What,
broke
Norsu
her
is-
knee.
The Norsu is the... Was that the mammoth?
Yes.
I'm going to elbow her just a little bit to the side, like she's really slow on the uptake. Like, yeah, of course it was. Yes.
Is there anything, well, anything I can do to assist you in treating your friend's body with more dignity?
He's been using it as a nest.
I know.
We will treat her with more dignity. She will feed us until the sun rises.
Oh, circle of life and all that.
I wouldn't be able to help it. I would laugh when they mentioned something about the sun rising. Like, yes. Good luck with that. Yes, sun rising. Yes.
At least we, and he looks at Ragnar, will not die from the cold. If you wish to sleep, you sleep. We will not bother. And they just walk, like brush past you and walk into the central arch of the lodge, leaving the 7 of you outside as Thrun finally pops his head out of the backpack and go, I thought they would never leave.
Okay, did you have a good nap? Where have you been?
Spy, eavesdropping. Wow,
Why are you afraid of them?
they're big. I would eat them before, but now they're massive compared to me. Oh, yes, Ed.
Etten wouldn't have gone out. He wouldn't have
Oh, okay.
left the children alone.
And the children, they're all on the right arch, correct? That was where we went?
Yeah, that was where you went. So, Etten, you would see the 2 wolves brush past the group and enter the lodge from the other arch.
Woohoo!
I think one wolf, Corin shakes his head, but Keenan can't help but look at you and go like, oh, and just keep
It's
going.
infectious, right?
Okay. Did we have to do anything else here, do you think? Or should we just let the kids rest and then head back?
Yes. And get a nice roaring fire.
No fires are gonna burn tonight. Remember that was like the whole
yes.
In
No
Dugan's
fires in
Hole.
town.
In Dugan's
And we are
Hole.
nowhere
thing.
near
You
town.
guys, I don't know. Should we really be like trying to do things against the way of Dugan's Hole? I mean, there must be a reason why they don't light fires.
Yes.
So.
Because they're very, very dumb. And then he's gonna turn around and walk into the arch.
Hello.
We can't let him. We can't let him do it.
Sarkia walks up and puts both her hands, one on each of Helifine's shoulders, which means she has to stretch up quite a bit. I think you need to calm down. We're not near Dugan's Hole, and the children need to be warm.
I don't think this is a good idea. There's got to be a reason why they don't light fires.
Yes, because they don't understand what's going on.
Or maybe they do.
Or maybe they don't. Just, how about you come inside? I will even move the decapitated corpse away so you don't have to look at it. How's that?
Yeah, why did he do that?
Because he had to prove to them he was dead.
They could have just gone inside.
But then
it's
the
their
children,
home.
But then the children would have been afraid.
So
It
cutting
would
off
be
the head
more
makes the
afraid.
children less afraid?
I mean, they didn't see him cut it off. They just saw him walking with it. For all they knew, it was like a toy or something. I don't know.
You've never babysat, have you?
I don't think it would be a good vocation for me.
I don't think so either. Look. If you guys are gonna light a fire, then that's fine. But I think we gotta ask Etten about it. He knows
Just
this
going
area
to
way
say to
better than we
cuddle
do.
you. He's just going to try to cuddle everybody. You know that.
Okay, I'm not from around here and I am freezing. I wouldn't be against some fire right now.
I'm with you. And Sarkia holds up her hands because she had, taken off her gloves when she was casting, and her fingertips are blue. She's like,
No! I'll hug her real tight.
Oh God!
The
Please
air just is expelled from your lungs.
Please don't touch this ass first.
You're gonna be so warm, though.
Thank you for your concern. Please.
Okay, sorry, and then I'll drop her.
Very much. I appreciate your concern. Please don't touch without asking.
Okay. Okay.
But I appreciate the thought. Alize. Fine? Come on, Helafine. You can cuddle Etten in a dark corner.
He's not my type.
I mean,
has
is he
bangs.
anyone's really? He has bangs.
He's the only one who's like your size equivocally, though. So
Wow, size doesn't matter.
does when you're crushing the wind out of people, though.
Look, some folks are into that. Okay, I'm not here to kink shame. I will.
Wait, into
follow
size or bangs?
Both.
both.
It's the internet, Simon. There is probably a Rule 34 for bangs somewhere.
Man, I can just see that clip getting rearranged 1,000 different awful ways. I'll follow this train of dumb
Less
people back
Etten
into
and his terrible bowl cut.
I cut
I
it myself.
We can tell.
without a mirror. So I'll describe what you find in the, because of course if you're going to sleep there for the night, or at least spend a few hours there to recuperate and try to warm up, you'll have plenty of time to just look at like each room to get your bearings and see where you can build a campfire. And so the wolves,
Or a cuddle pile.
or a cuddle pile. The wolves have gone into into the central room. So when you come in through the central arch, there's this wide oval-like room, oval-shaped room, with a corridor leading to your left, to your right. Oof. That would go back to the room with the whale and the room where the kobolds were. Otherwise, if you keep going to the end, you can circle back around on your left to go almost to where the leftmost arch was, except there's a wall between where the cage was and that other room, and it is an empty room that contains a single, oh my god, 15 feet by 10 feet, 15 feet long by 10 feet wide fur bedroll.
Ooh.
It is heavy and warm. It even comes with a like 4 feet wide pillow made of fur and filled with axe beak feathers inside. Whoever slept here slept comfortably. It is giant sized, of course. And beyond that, that bedroll is, well, for a giant anyway, a small opening in the far wall of that bedroom that leads to a storage area. It smells like crap. There are 5 barrels in this room, which you, especially you, Etten, and Helafine would recognize the smell. The others, perhaps, because you've been in Icewind Dale for long enough. But just as you smell the odor from the barrels, the two of you would notice that these contain whale oil. Ideal to start a fire.
Well, I was going to have Etten scoop as much whale blubber into some sort of container to take back to the town. But if there's already barrels, he definitely would like to take as much of that as he can carry back to Dugan's Hole.
Each barrel is 500 pounds of oil.
So giant-sized barrels.
Yeah, we're talking massive.
That's a lot of money sitting right there.
Yeah.
Olivine's gonna stand in front of him, just kind of like stretch really awkwardly, trying to hide it from the rest of the group that wanted to start a fire. Just real tired. Just oh man.
There's a bedroll in the other room.
You go warm it up. Yeah.
That sounds an awful lot like you expect I'm sharing that bedroll with you, and I believe you would be mistaken.
Okay.
Oh, the more the merrier. It's warmer with more bodies.
Does it seem like it would be easy to grab some oil into a flask?
Yes. Yeah. The barrels aren't. They're a little bit frozen over, but you can give them like a few quick hits, or even the light from Lathander to free up some of the ice, and then open the barrels and just dump a water skin or any container in it, really. Just so I get an idea, though. Okay, you need a strength score of 33 to be able to carry this barrel back.
Okay. What if we wanted to roll it back?
That might be easier, but I would like to know, does Heliphine or Etten have this like racial feature where you can you count as large when carrying stuff?
I know Goliaths do.
So then I do.
So then in that case, that would be...
And I do too. Powerful build. Yep.
Powerful build? You would need a strength score of 16 to be able to carry one of these barrels.
Well. Turns out. Actually, what I would like to do, one, I would like to attempt to take a long rest if we're able to do that, because the light of Lathander is growing a little bit weaker in me. I'd like to recharge that if I'm able. And maybe while other people are sleeping or the kids are sleeping, I would like to attempt to fashion some skis, maybe, and or like a sled of some sort, and put as many barrels on said sled as possible to drag that back. And then the kids could ride on the sled as well, so that won't slow us down as much.
You can definitely take a few hours during your long rest to fashion a pair of, not a pair of skis, but I would say you could go into the area where the kobolds were. There's a huge table and chairs, and you can easily fashion them into a sort of like a dog sled type of thing, where you could rest a few of the barrels on it and push them back to Dugan's Hole. The last room I wanted to describe to you is the central room. That contains a dead mammoth. Its belly opened up. If you remember the Tauntaun scene from Empire Strikes Back, it's basically what the Dwergar was doing. And next to the mammoth, encased in ice, is the body of a sleeping, perhaps, frost giant. He seems at rest, arms crossed over his chest, eyes closed, lying on his back, but he is covered in over 2 to 3 feet of ice.
The wolves are in the central chamber, you said?
Yeah, the wolves are right now roaming around the mammoth. and just prodding Norsu with their heads. And beyond those two things is a large ice throne. It is sized for a giant, so just the sitting area is about 6-7 feet wide. And it stands on a pedestal that, for the most of you, would need to climb up, whereas the giant would only need to take a step. And there is an enormous rune carved into the backside of this throne. And now I'm
So
done.
if the wolves
That is
are,
all.
if the wolves are there, as soon as we stepped in, I'd call out to the wolves like, what is this? How long's this been here?
Got a guy. He brought us here. He is gone. But we remain.
How long have you been here?
Long. We were but pups.
I'm gonna go up and tap on the ice. It's how thick? It's feet thick. You said, right?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 feet.
So he's dead.
Died old. Protected by his goddess. Forever encased in ice.
Giant goddesses again. Well,
Sarkia would kind of ignore all that, and she would saunter up to Alize. You're pretty good with the climbing things, right?
Alize.
What did you say? Sorry.
You're pretty good with climbing things, like.
I
Good at
can
that
try. Yeah.
Sarkia will hand her the rope from, the standard adventurer's pack. Can you climb up those and drop the rope? Points at the stairs.
Why? What do you need? You trying to get up there?
I want to see the rune closer.
Oh.
Unless, of course, somebody speaks giant and can just tell me what it means.
I
Telephine.
Oh, Etin, you do?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Well, Elephine, upon seeing the throne, you would immediately recognize the rune for what it is. It's the word ice.
Cool.
Well, that's imaginative and yeah.
It's funny. It fits.
You're muted, Kelly.
Yeah, I know. It keeps muting me, bringing chat up. Alize, you also said that you studied a lot of things.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this giant? Or this
Yeah,
place?
I have not this place particularly, but I have read about giants who live in the cold, northern parts. Right,
So-
Simon?
Yes,
Like-
yes, indeed. Yep.
So, this is fairly far south for them? Is this normal?
I would say it's normal. Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think I'm going to go make a fire and get warmed up. For anybody who would like to join, and she casts that back to Helafine.
I don't think this is a good idea. I don't like it.
Keeps opening chat and turning off my spacebar to talk. Sarkia is going to go in the other room and start a fire near where the kids are, so that the kids stay warm as well.
which other room do you want to build a fire in? The whale room, the table room, the central,
I
the
think-
cage, or the bedroll?
Where did we leave the children?
Put them back in the cage. We'll know where they are that way.
The
Alex was
children
never
were
babysitted before.
the children were in the right, or has she? The children were on the right side, but and presumably going to sleep. But Etten would not stray too far from them. So if he was going to go into another room, he would carry them with him.
Okay.
Why don't you, I don't know, put them on a table or something, Etten? We can light a fire in that area, or wherever you'd like, honestly. I don't really care. I just need a fire. I'm freezing.
Oh, here, just roll up in this bedroll. I'll roll the children up in here with you, and it will be a nice, warm burrito.
No, I don't want to sleep. No, I don't. No, I'll make a fire in the corner. You roll the children up into a burrito, I guess.
DM, what time is it? Have we've passed through night because we were down? Has the next day, quote unquote, dawned?
Not yet, but you are pretty much in the dead of night at this point. Because you arrived at the lodge, the stars started shining. I'll say it's been, well, I wouldn't say it's the dead of night, but, I mean, let's go with around 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know that you should light a fire. It's the custom of this area to not have fire tonight.
Oh, we are not in the town.
Yes, but you're in the north.
But we're in a giant's home. I don't think the giants have any such prohibition. It would be
But-
disrespectful to assume that your traditions are there.
He's dead.
Maybe we could ask.
That's a wonderful idea. Let's ask the giant.
I would come back from the ice sky and be like, are we honestly talking about asking the giant frozen guy?
Excuse me, wolves? Wolves?
What?
Hey, so thanks for not eating us and stuff. Do you guys light fires in here?
I'm going to visibly shake my head. Visibly.
You need warmth, I gather.
Not me, but these guys are turning blue.
I am blue, but yeah.
Feeble.
I mean, to be fair, she's always.
Light your fire if you so need, but do not bring it close to us.
Yes, why?
We hate
Because they're wolves.
fire.
I wasn't talking to you, Fancy Pants.
Yes, because they're
You don't
wolves.
like fire. So in your home, it would be rude to start a fire.
I
I'll say
don't think
really
they
loud.
said that.
To be clear, this is your home.
It is our home.
And you would prefer it if there weren't fire in your home.
Yes.
Straight from the wolf's mouth.
Okay, to be clear, this is your home, and you would prefer it if we weren't here at all tonight, right?
Yes.
Oh, wolves, would you like a pile? We can all cuddle together.
No,
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh god, please roll 2 20s.
I rolled a 20 and a 12. Persuasion is +1, so 13.
The wolves look
These
at each
wolves-
other.
They look very warm.
We do this once, and you never are to speak of it.
Oh, yes, this is lovely. Oh, come on, hello. Come on, friends. Into the pile. We will be warm tonight.
And they follow you to where the bedroll is. The kids
They're
are
just like-
visibly shaken.
Oh, it's okay, children. They're going to keep us warm tonight. It's just like the pile back at. What was the name
Dugan's
of the
Hole.
really weird?
Dugan's hole.
But the inn. It's just
Oh,
like the pile back at the Dugan's Inn.
Yeah, the hole in the ground.
A hole in the ground. We're in a hole in the ground, children, and we're just going to cuddle up with these wolves. They're even warmer than I am. Here, eat some turkey.
We cuddle. You shut up.
Oh, yes.
And they, like, both of them will lie down, like, surround the kids. Like massive dogs would.
Elefine, come on, get in the pile, Sarkia. Mr. Fancy Pants, come on, let's all get in the pile. Alize, we'll be most warm.
Mr. Fancy Pants definitely just stays out in the central room, not going towards the room with the pile because
Trust
why?
me, you'll
No.
never need a fire again. This is a Dugan's whole tradition. You love it.
Sarkia, come here for a second. There's something I want to ask.
He does. Yes.
I, pull her to a corner. Did you, how trusty do you think these wolves are? Do you think they are telling the truth? Do you think, this giant is actually dead or maybe under a spell or?
Well, how far away from me was the giant when I detected magic? Because detect magic goes on for an hour? Is it an hour?
10 minutes.
Yep.
10 minutes. Okay, yeah, no, the other thing goes on for an hour.
The giant didn't ping as magical. Like, you would have seen through the wall an aura of magic if there was one. But I forgot to mention, then you would have seen that the throne is magical.
The giant is definitely dead. He is dead. If he was alive, stuck in the ice, I probably would have noticed. The wolves.
There could be a curse or magic that's keeping him asleep. He's an frost
I
giant.
would have noticed.
Oh.
As
You
far as
should
the wolves,
know. Like, have you? Okay, sorry.
you should probably ask Fancy Pants about the wolves. He might. He knows probably more about wolves. I'm afraid to tell you, but I grew up in a city.
Okay.
They're just giant dogs to me, honestly.
All right.
And you don't want to cuddle them?
Shut up, Kelly really wants to. Sarkit doesn't. I would recommend that you go ask Fancy Pants. He seems to know he seems to know more about nature.
Okay, he doesn't seem like he's getting into the puddle anyways.
I'm very much thinking I'm just going to freeze to death in a corner.
Yeah. Hey. Go this way.
I would be off to like one side, sort of in front of the room that everybody's getting in, about to build a fire. Not a very big one, just a small fire there, and laying out, my bedroll.
Hey, I'm not against the fire. I was wondering if you were to light it kind of near to the giant, and the ice would magically
Melt.
a bit. Do you think we could get a little bit more information about the giant? Did you trust the wolves? Do you think he's dead?
I mean, no, I don't trust the wolves, but also I don't think this is going to melt that, because that's a lot of ice.
I mean, we have all night.
And I don't have a lot of fuel.
We have whole barrels of oil.
Oil? And he's the only one who didn't notice that we had all the oils. He's going to be like, oil.
Yeah, the whale oil. I don't
Well,
know.
that will burn and would smell awful. Why do you want to melt the dead giant?
Just curious. It's one of those once in a lifetime type of things, and I don't want to pass.
I mean,
When are you ever gonna find a giant to investigate?
dead or alive?
Either. I mean, this is easier to investigate if it's dead, and if it's not, we are like all of a sudden the giant revivers. And I mean, it's just, it would be cool.
I mean, if he's not dead, he'll awake screaming, covered in burning oil.
I mean, we. Maybe
I
we
mean,
can
he won't be
survive.
alive long after that, so
I mean, I don't think the oil will burn. Does it burn? I don't know. Does it just melt the ice and disappear?
I mean, it's
There are
oil.
ways-
It just sort of
Oh,
burns.
is there a way we can stop the oil before it's completely melted?
He's just gonna look at you like,
I don't know. I never messed with these things, but
I've never done anything. No.
do you really want to leave without seeing what's under there?
I can see what's under there. It's a
I
dead
mean,
giant.
touch it and look at it, and
You can go touch it now. I'd knock on it.
yeah, ice.
Yeah.
Anywhere else down here?
Let's just go get the
I just thought you'd have
Get the-
your
to
goals
get the-
on that, but okay.
get that
While-
simple blue one to go hit it with his hammer or something. Maybe that'll break it.
While you're doing this, while you're having this conversation, in the background, Heliphine climbed up on the throne and sat on it. Heliphine, the
Yeah?
moment you sit
Yeah.
on the throne, your entire body jolts as your eyes shift to a pale, glowing blue. You immediately see this lodge from a bird's eye view with the tundra around it. You can almost make Dugan's Hole in like the corner of your peripheral vision. You know that should you will it, by focusing your thoughts for 1 minute, you can engulf the entire lodge in a magical blizzard that surrounds it for 1 mile in all directions for 8 hours. Similarly, if there is a natural blizzard occurring in this area, you can protect the lodge and 1 mile around it from a blizzard. You can do so, apparently, once per day. Oh, once per week. Once per 10 day.
So, okay. Quick outside of game question, because I don't think Diana doesn't know the answer to this. So I know that snow can be an insulator.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get the feeling that perhaps adding some more snow might help to trap some of the heat in here with us?
I mean, it would only keep the existing heat. It wouldn't add heat.
Right,
But
but
it
now
would
we have a
prevent-
cuddle pile with wolves, so there's gonna be more heat.
It's the principle of a kind of like an igloo, where you will build your structure and then you'll pack snow around it to make sure that warmth stays inside. If you pack enough snow, it's not going to melt even if there's a fire burning inside. You could definitely do this. It's only going to hamper your way out.
I mean, not
If you
my
try
way
to.
out, but...
If you try to bury this place in snow. But yes, you can.
Well, this is a really, like, this is fun. This is a really cool thing that I just discovered. So, Heliphine sitting on the throne with this, like, ice glazed look in her eyes is just gonna kind of like giggle to herself and then start the snow and stop the snow and start the snow and stop the snow. So you can kind of see it, like, if you look all the way down the hallway and you see the entrance, so you can see like flurries Nothing. Flurries, nothing.
You've got 1 hour. 1 hour? No, 8 hours. You can play with it for 8 hours. So you can turn it on and off often.
Sarkia at the very least would have probably sensed that something magical was happening. And she comes into the throne room and stands between Alize and Fancy Pants. How long has she been doing that?
What? Doing what?
She's the blizzard. She's making a blizzard.
No, she wants to melt the giant, and I'm like,
No,
I'm pointing to
talking about-
Alize.
I'm not talking about Alize. I'm talking about Helifine, and she points up towards the throne.
On, off. On, off.
My goodness gracious, Justice, your electric bill must be terrible.
The three kobolds would saddle up to Etten in the other room. All three of them have cut up sections of the bowels of this mammoth, and they're just chewing on it like it was one big piece of taffy. And they look at Etten and at the cuddle pile, and they're like, "We're kind of cold. Yeah, could you
come
make
on
some
in.
room?"
Hey,
Nice.
the more the merrier.
And they cuddle up to the wolves, still eating the stomach of their dead friend.
Yes, we're not picky here. Once both wolves, the children, and the three kobolds are in, he'll make one last offer of the pile to the rest of the companions, and well, it'll be open all night. You can't really close these things down. And then I will wrap part of the blanket around the rest of us and just,
Go to sleep.
good old pile. Yeah.
All right. In the interest of
I
time,
just imagine like the little voice as the blanket goes over the head. Good fire. It's just like...
I would like to know for this long rest, who sleeps where? Who has warmth tonight, and how?
Yeah,
You know mine.
Sarkia would have pulled out, blankets and stuff from her bedroll. And so she has a fur-lined coat, even if it's a bit threadbare. And the blankets and the familiar, who is weird. And she's going to just kind of huddle down in a corner where she can keep an eye on Helifine, and apparently, as chat says, clap on, clap off, snowstorm.
All right, you huddle up in a corner. Speaking of Helifine, what do you do? I mean, you can stay on the throne for the entire long rest if you want to.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of how Helifine would play this. Helifine is used to the cold, but is she cold sitting on the throne, or is that just normal?
Oh, the throne is made of ice, so it is very cold when you sit on it.
But even for me?
I mean, you're a Goliath from around there. It is still like a cold
Chilly.
surface. Yeah, you could sleep on it if you wanted to. If that's what you want to do, it is possible. Like, your body heat will warm it up a bit as you either sit or lie down on it.
So Helifine will make it a point to try and be the last one awake. And yeah, she'll probably play around with the blizzard for a little while, not really causing a huge amount of snow accumulation, but I can control the weather, so why the fuck wouldn't I? And she'd probably fall asleep on the throne, just keeping an eye out on everyone else.
Okay. Alize and Ragnar.
I mean, I would definitely get my fire going and my bedroll, everything up, and just to be like, I mean, I'd look at her and be like, do you want to spend all night trying to melt an ice cube, or not become an ice cube.
You know, if we are melting the ice cube and we are next to it, we won't become an ice cube.
I'm not sure how you plan on melting this ice cube.
It's a corpse, you guys, not an ice cube.
It can be both.
You don't know that word.
It could be a corpse ice cube.
Yeah.
Like a novelty ice cube for like your drinks or something? Because that's a
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
With
it's,
a giant in it.
yeah, with a frost giant in it. You just
So
Inclusions.
put it in a very big glass.
Insane kitty said corpsicle.
So either like chipping at it with a weapon or trying to melt it. Is there any way Aliza can like stay up all night and do this?
You would realize quickly enough when you start chipping at it that the ice is unbreakable.
Oh, really? So when I like grab a stick with cloth or whatever and grab some fire from Fancy Pants and bring it over, does it melt at all?
You approach the flame from the ice and leave it there for a while. And nothing seems to happen. In fact, after about 5 minutes, you can put your hand in the flame that you're holding on that torch because it no longer sheds any heat.
Whoa. Is this supposed to be like that? Fancy Pants?
You know, it's supposed to be like sleep. That's what it's supposed to be like.
Hey, no.
I can hear you banging on this from over here.
No, because this is not regular ice. Just look at it.
I saw it. It was very large ice. That is definitely not regular.
Give me your hand.
No.
Just trust me. Look, I put my hand in the flame. See? Not
Yeah.
burn.
Yes, that is a very nice trick.
Go to sleep.
And
But seriously, can you just try it once?
No. I will. What was that word you used? Believe you?
Trust me. Trust me. I'm trustworthy.
Sure. And when he says that, there's definitely the tone of not.
Oh, I'll go get help. She's never gonna put her hand in the fire. She doesn't want us to do that. Okay.
Generally,
Alright.
people don't want to put their hands in fires.
But this one is different. There's something funny about this.
There is something funny about this. Very
Not
funny.
how funny, but like strange.
You know what? You know who'd really love this? And then I'm just gonna like pick up something and just chuck it over towards the mage who's in the corner and wake her up with a like whatever small pebble or something.
yeah, like a snowball or whatever.
Yeah, just something small to
What?
nudge her awake.
Come here for a second.
Like there's something hilarious you need to see, and I'm gonna go back to the fire.
It's not okay. It's not hilarious, but it is amusing.
Why are we talking?
Because you're gonna be really happy. Come here. Bring your little one. Come on.
If,
Look.
you're muted anyway. Haha,
Yeah,
I
you're-
finally got to say it.
Works 'cause I was mumbling it to you as I walked by.
See this?
What?
See this?
She
I
had
don't
just
have
fallen
magic.
asleep, so she's definitely got that. The hell is going on? The what?
burning.
What?
I'm not burning.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh my goodness! And she like pokes the flame at her.
You
Please tell me that your characters just said, "Oh my goodness," like that, because that was the best thing ever. That was like last second. Mom is tired of telling you to do something. Come do it.
Golly Gee Willikers!
You put the torch to Sarkia, and Sarkia, you do not catch on fire. You actually do not feel any warmth from the fire whatsoever.
See? See what I mean? You all are tired.
How is this useful?
Are use. Okay. We will-
Fine. It's magic. Woo! It's magic. I don't understand why.
Can you do this?
Why magic? Why magic?
I thought I found something cool.
Where did you get this?
I just grabbed his fire and went to the ice that's covering the giant. I wasn't trying to wake him up or anything, okay? I was just checking to see what will happen. And then all of a sudden the flame became not hot.
Sarkia just stands and blinks. You weren't trying to wake him up. You just wanted to see what would happen. All we have to do to make the world end is stick a big lever somewhere and say, do not pull. Go to sleep, Alize. You can take the cold fire with you in the morning.
You're okay with that one rolling her eyes on the throne, but when I do
I'm
something...
definitely not okay with that one rolling her eyes on the throne. Why do you think I'm sleeping facing her? I guess Sarkia will...
Elephine is still wide awake, by the way.
Oh, I know. Sarkia will... I don't know, I guess take a few minutes to detect the magic, because detect magic will also tell me what school of magic it is.
Sure. Even though the ice doesn't shed any magic, you can make a religion check. Because it seems to your, low-level detect magic, this does not ping as having a magical aura. But it definitely isn't natural. You're muted.
Why wouldn't I roll super low on the thing that I'm actually proficient in? Woohoo!
I didn't see anything roll. But you can just tell me what number you rolled and
11.
You said 11.
11. Okay, yeah, but she also was muted. You with an 11.
No, I know. I try to keep the. Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
You, with an 11, realize that this. You've heard of You've heard stories about some people being blessed by the gods. The most common kinds being clerics, who can channel their gods' powers. But there's another type of people that are chosen by gods, whether they want to or not. And often they are bestowed strange powers that defy the regular rules of magic. And it seems that this frost giant was in some way touched by Auril, is now encased in ice as per the will of his goddess. And breaking the ice, if at all possible, would require something that is powerful enough to go against the will of a god.
I will relay that to Alize, basically in those words that he was not a paladin. Paladin?
Chosen would be the title.
Just a chosen. That he was chosen by Auril, and it's actually a little creepy, let's be honest. But there's nothing we can do. It's
It just makes me more curious about it.
I know, but there's literally you can put it on a shelf, and later, in like 15 levels, you can come back and see if you can break it.
15 times.
And she will kind of she'll pretend to go back to her corner, like kind of haughtily, but she's noticeably about 10 feet closer to the fire than she was before.
And with that,
Go to sleep, Alizé.
I sleep next to the fire.
all right. So tonight, as with every night in Icewind Dale for the past 2 years, an enormous white bird flies across the sky, leaving behind it a trail of aurora borealis, hiding the stars and lowering the temperatures little by little. And that's where we're going to take our break for tonight. Just a quick one, a few minutes. Get something to drink, stretch your legs, maybe get a snack. When we come back, because everyone's been, spending time with those magic items, we'll finally know what they do, for better or for worse. See you in a few moments, everyone. Hello, everyone. We're back through the blizzard. Our party of adventurers has finally woken up from their slumber party, their cuddle piles, their thrones, their little campfire. And because they've spent so much time going around and through these objects, they now know that the full plate armor is a set of dwarven plate. It is essentially a +2 full plate armor.
Holy crap.
That if you were moved against your will for any reason, you can use your reaction to reduce the distance you are moved by up to 10 feet. It is heavy armor, of course, which we've discovered during break that nobody can wear. But hey, you've got something that is very valuable.
Oh yeah, and I have the Warhammer too, so
Yep.
I would have.
The Warhammer is a +2 Warhammer.
Now that I can swing.
Maybe I'll be nice if Etten doesn't try to cuddle me forcefully.
Has he ever? He's just
No.
simply inviting you into the pile.
And the gauntlets are gauntlets of ogre power. They put your strength at a flat 19 when you wear them.
And what about the bear things?
Those were the.
Yeah, those were the gauntlets made of bear. Bear.
Oh,
bear skin.
okay. So, okay.
So that's what you all got. Now
Okay.
I'm going to sit back while you fight amongst yourselves to decide who gets what. And
I
you've
mean, I've already got the
berries.
Warhammer in my bag, so I don't care.
No, Etten offered to carry it, and I thought you gave it.
Oh,
to
that's
him.
right.
Yeah. So technically, he would be the one who knows because he'd wake up and be like, "Oh, look at this."
He'd be like, "What? Just one more time, please."
One more time, come on.
No, you're muted. You're muted.
No, I'm not muted. Oh, look at this. This is my new shiny hammer.
We can
Look at
stop
this,
now. We
It's
can
my
stop.
brand new shiny hammer.
But I don't know if Firbolg have the proficiency with Warhammers, but clerics do not by default.
Oh yeah, it's martial, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, I do not. Simple weapons.
Wait,
I'm a
wait.
simple fisherman.
Etten is just looking at this armor and this hammer and being like, "No! No!" The
Well, these are
Morning
very
Lord is
fancy.
testing you.
Okay, so did we make the sled to get back to Dugan's Hole?
Yes. During those 8 hours, you don't need to sleep through the whole 8 hours. You make the sled and you bring back, and we'll fast forward to the trek because it's, without the blizzard, without the wolves, you can easily find your way back to Dugan's Hole. There's just a mile of distance that's been covered in snow overnight. It's odd.
Sarkia
Right.
glares at Helafine.
It's odd, but I'm assuming I can pick up the tracks and lead us back fairly easily.
Yeah, after a mile, you can pick up the path and get back to Dugan's Hole. As you approach town, some of the villagers are waiting for you. On the edge of town, they see, travelers, which are a rare sight indeed.
Oh, hello.
Recognizing Etten, a lot of the villagers wave at you, and one of them breaks from the crowd and comes running through the snow, tripping and falling multiple times as she descends the hill on which were the stones of Thrune. That's a little loud. Hilda. Was that Hilda her name? Hilja?
That sounds right.
Eh.
Yeah, it's Hilda the Jar. Hilda comes running, and her children, Silja and Finn, break away from Etten and run to their mother. and she holds them and ruffles their hair as she waits for all of you to get closer. And says, "Thank you. By the gods, thank you. I thought I had lost them," and she kisses both of them on the head. "I thought I'd lost you forever. What happened? What did the big bad wolves do to you?"
Oh, they cuddled us.
"They what?"
Oh, we had a Dugan's Hole cuddle pile in the lodge, you know, for old time's sake. Stick with tradition.
I'll kind of interrupt him to be like, it was a Dwargar, not wolves. It was complicated, but he's dead.
"What's a Dwargar?"
He's gonna shake his head and look back to the rest of everyone else, be like, dwarf. It was a bad dwarf.
Kids were imprisoned. It was such a challenge to get them out.
"Oh no. Oh,
We had
please.
to fight a god.
It wasn't.
You defeated a god?"
Yeah, and a dragon.
And then I control the weather.
Thrun and I match.
Literally at that point, I walk away from the group and head towards the inn.
Goodbye.
I feel like Thrun would have something to say about being vanquished from my backpack.
I mean, you know what? I'll it's most of it, all of it is true. You know, in a certain
broad
way.
sense of truth.
Yeah. So I will go ahead, and that will raise your reputation in Dugan's Hole to friendly.
And look, we brought whale oil that will last you the whole year for the town of Dugan's Hole. Yay!
The whole year?
At least that long. Look how much whale oil.
And some of the peasants break off from the crowd, the line that was forming at the edge of town, and they begin to look at the barrels, and like it definitely smells like whale oil. They can recognize it. We're gonna have warmth for months.
Yes.
By the
If you
gods.
supplement the warmth with piles, then they would last a lot longer.
They storm around you, the whole group of you. They try to, most of them will try to hug, to shake your hand, or even just to, get to touch you, as if, you were heroes to the town, if by contact they can also get some of your heroism or something. You are now definitely adored in Dugan's Hole by what you did.
Etten is?
All of you.
Or all of us? Oh no.
Yes.
During the cheering
Etten
and
more.
Including
surrounding,
me, because I stepped away.
But they knew you were with us.
Yeah, by association.
Haha, can't escape now.
Sonic,
Etten is going to
as people
start.
are pushing. Go ahead.
Etten's gonna start cheering with them and drift to the outside and start cheering the crowd, cheering the other adventurers, that it just seems natural that yes, oh good, you did such a good job, thank you so much, yay.
Sonicia is pushing herself further and further back into the sledge as they keep trying to touch her. She's like, what are you doing?
Ilja will say, "Please, all of you, tell your friend, you are not," and she kind of motions offhand to where Ragnar went. "You do not eat and sleep in the hole tonight. My house is your house. I will cook for you. And there's something I want to give you. Yes. Come by my house when you have the time, but please, you do not have to pay for lodging or food today. And plus, we can make fire now, so there will be a lot of warmth. It's the least I can do for you."
Random aside, did the kobolds come with us, or did they stay back in the giant's abode?
Oh, I forgot to mention that. They followed you, from a few paces behind.
Okay, because if they followed us before we got into town, I would have turned around to them and sort of like ripped off the badges they had on their things.
You would notice
Whispered to them that it's for their own good if they want to live.
when you turn around to look at the kobolds, I forgot to mention, there are no. It's not 3 kobolds. It's one very long kobold wearing a big, heavy.
You don't say it. Don't.
It's on the picture. It's on the picture. They're standing atop each other's shoulders.
Sarkia, he got so much taller.
No, he didn't. It's just 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
I don't know about that. Look how
it's-
tall he is.
It's 3 kobolds.
As long as they don't visually have any of the insignia or logos anywhere.
Yeah, no, you
in
can
sight,
rip them from there.
Yeah, I'll just make sure that it's out of sight and just be like, he's gonna look at them like he wants to kill them, but he's just gonna think better of it because we're too close to town, and I don't know what these lot would say. So,
Etten, is there any bar in town?
A bar? Yes, the hole in the ground is where you get your bar and you drink, as well as
Well, a
cuddle.
bard, like someone who sings songs, the tales of champions.
Oh yes, I do that.
Yeah, unless you do it, there's no minstrel in.
Yes, I'm the unofficial town greeter as well as the singer.
Do you plan to stay in town, or do you have plans to travel?
Oh no, I'm waiting. I'm here waiting for a sign from my god. I'm going to stop this endless winter, I've been told, but I have to wait until the right time.
I see. Okay, that won't do. But thank you.
When's the right time?
Oh, I will get a sign. I'm told.
I think now is a good time to stop
Good,
the endless
yeah.
winter. Like, this would be good.
I
think.
mean, could a sign be strangers showing up in town and convincing you to leave town?
Oh, it's possible.
And we should go stop the endless winter.
Oh, well, maybe. I need to go check on my house.
No, but I
Sometimes
think
if you leave
now,
your house
like,
for too long, they
just
take
say yes.
parts
Just
from
say
it.
yes. Just say yes now.
You were just taking blizzards yesterday. Now you want to stop winter?
What?
Okay, that was different. I controlled the winter, and I didn't make the sun go away.
That's true. But would you, if you could?
No, I like sunshine.
Okay.
It gets a little warm. I mean, not my
Claudia
thing.
is in the back of the sled and she is not getting out until the people leave.
Seeing that she's uncomfortable, again, Helifine's gonna do awkward stretches, but more to just like create like a little bubble
Around
so that-
Sarkia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they once the like initial enthusiasm sort of dies down a bit, the villagers will take the barrels and roll them into town, and that's probably the closest they come to Sarkia at this point. So you
I'll try and
stretch
keep them
out,
away
yeah.
from everyone.
So as you stretch, like the few stragglers that were there that still wanted to look at Sarkia or talk to Sarkia or anything, like they keep their distance because strong giant Goliath.
Once the cart's empty, and the kids are off the cart and everything, I will
Hello, okay. Well, thank you very much. That was a lot of fun. You've done a great service getting the children back. But now I have this nice new cart, and I'm going to go take it to my house, because if your house is unattended for too long, they will take your stuff.
But and we still need your help.
Well, you have dinner. You go dinner and be heroes, and
It would be
you know.
rude to leave us.
Oh,
You're the town greeter.
well, yes, I greeted you, and you the
I
pile.
don't feel very welcomed. You got to do it again.
Oh, hello.
That was half-assed at best.
Um, from the back of the cart where she's
I thought I was the lawful evil character. Jeez.
I'm the neutral manipulative character.
From the back of the cart where she still is, Sarkia just kind of says in Etten's general direction, Etten, I really, I mean, if we're staying as a group, what happens if one of us gets hurt?
Oh goodness.
You're the only one who can help us, Etten.
Oh, but I'm supposed to stay here, and I got a sign that said it was fine to go, and we went, but now we're back, and so I feel like I have
Did you
to
get
stay
a sign
here.
that you weren't allowed to go again?
Well, no.
Mm. Do you want me to talk to your god and maybe have him tell you it's okay?
I am not certain that you can talk to my god.
Listen, Edna, I have a lot of really bad like nightmares and everything when I sleep, and sometimes they're like glimpses of the future, and other times they're not. Usually not, but sometimes they are. And I had a terrible dream last night that I fell in the snow and then I died.
Well, you should have been in the pile. You would have slept much better, I promise.
What'll happen if you're not there?
I don't know if I'm smart enough to see what's going on. I am definitely not. Well, okay. Can I at least check on my house? They will take my things.
Sarkia gets out of the back of the cart.
Etten, you make your way to your house.
Think of all the fish jerky in his house. He needs to get that.
You know.
You walk up the street up to your house and notice that the door has been left ajar.
Oh, I knew it.
The wind from the Red Waters Lake pushes it slowly open, and it opens and closes with the wind. You can't, like, I mean, your house was small, so you can see a good portion of it through the cracks, the opening, but it seems like someone did go into your house and ransack the place.
Not again. It will take me all month to find all my things again.
You approach the house. Do you open the door?
Yes.
All
I
right.
go in without hesitation.
Okay.
I know everybody in Dugan's Hole.
When you open the door, you notice that most of your stuff has been not taken, but broken.
Oh.
Someone came
This
in,
is very
messed
rude.
around. But the worst is what they did to your shrine to Lathander.
Oh, this is unforgivable.
Not only is your shrine destroyed, but the object which with it was destroyed is still there. A battle axe made of pure ice that does not melt.
Are my fishing poles still intact?
Someone snapped them in half.
Oh.
He
Smash shrine. Are my fishing poles though?
priorities. Etten would hear just a very light on the door jamb.
Oh, hello.
Oh, that didn't sound like very normal.
No.
Can I come in?
Yes.
And if you come in, there's a bed and there's like a ceiling, but I stand hunched and a modest dresser, and that's about it. And then my poor little smashed shrine.
Sarkia would look around. I think this isn't how you left it.
No, definitely. Hello. No, definitely not. This, this is a desecration of my things.
You seem to be really concerned about your house. I thought I'd follow you, but is this
Well,
the first time it's happened?
This is not what I was expecting. Usually they leave my shrine alone because they know that it's important and I can call fire down from the heavens and scorch people to death. So they usually leave that alone at least. But this is most concerning.
How long have you been in Dugan's Hall?
7 years.
And they still ransack your house when you leave?
Well, it's kind of common. If somebody leaves and they're gone for a certain amount of time, you assume they died and you take their things.
You were gone overnight.
Yes, that's why this is a bit strange. Especially since everyone would have been in the pile last night. This makes me very sad.
Sarkia would notice the battle axe. Is that yours?
Oh, no. No, definitely not. I have my mace.
Can I look at it?
Oh, sure.
Would she be able to make the connection that this is the same kind of ice that...
Definitely.
Okay.
It doesn't look magical. It doesn't, it's as cold as ice, but it's unbreakable.
Is it giant size or like human size?
No, this one is human sized.
Okay. Etten, I think you might have gotten your sign.
Oh, do you think so?
Would Lathander have let your shrine be destroyed if he wanted you to stay?
Oh, no, that logic makes sense. I suppose it would be time to move on.
Sarkia looks very surprised that that made sense at all. Behind his back, she's like, oh, okay.
Look, I have an intelligence of 8. Don't take advantage of me.
Listen, I already feel bad enough. Okay.
Don't take any more advantage of you. She did make you carry all of her stuff and drag it back to town.
Alicia approaches the house. Etienne, they are getting us some ale in the what was the name of that place?
Sarkia kind of leans out the door.
It's free. They're paying for it. I'm not asking him.
Did they say they wanted beer?
Yeah, they said they're buying us. What's happening?
She motions for
I mean,
Helafine.
if you don't want to.
She motions for Helafine and Alize to come closer.
What?
They destroyed his whole house.
Who?
What?
He seemed to expect that they would steal his stuff, but they smashed his shrine.
He is the nicest person I've ever met. Who would
I don't even like people, and he's the nicest person I've met.
And do you need a hug?
Oh, I will get to the bottom of this. And like, oh, this
But
storms.
Alize, you remember last night the ice?
Yeah.
They broke his shrine with an axe made out of that.
Wait. Which ice?
We're not talking about it. You can go look at
Wait,
it.
No.
No, I think I'm
Tell me
going to
again.
go find Fancy Pants and let
That's
him
the
know.
one that like.
Goodbye. Sarkia. She goes to find Ragnar, aka Fancy Pants, to kind of clue him in as to what's going on, as if he'd care, but still. I think even the evil character would actually care what happens to Etten because he's a good person.
If he doesn't,
I
I'm
was
killing
just,
him.
like, right outside the door. Now they want to care about the ice. I've been telling them all night long that ice would melt and there was some sketchy. Oh, okay.
You seem really worked up.
Like, she's just like so confused and she just storms up and goes back to like where the folks were loading the barrels trying to figure out who did this.
Etten,
Hey, goodbye.
would you like a hug? Would
Yes,
make
that
you
always
feel-
makes me feel better.
Come,
It's like a pile, but smaller.
that's weird, but okay. And Helafino will give him a hug for probably too long, just like an uncomfortably long time patting his back.
I don't think he'd notice that it's
I don't
too
think there
long.
is a hug too long for Etten, yeah, but
And you don't have to bend over.
it's nice. It's a nice change.
Trust
Unless
me,
we're both in the house, in which case it's very
Yeah, you're
cramped.
both,
Yeah.
you're both hunched in the house.
I mean,
Tiny
trust me,
pile.
coming from me, it's awfully nice when you hug somebody that you don't have to like slouch to do so. It's fantastic.
But meanwhile, Ragnar was going to the inn for the hole in the ground. You open the door. Of course, there is no cuddle pile today. There's a few people at the inn right now, those that found it too cold to go outside and look at your arrival, but hearing the people cheer from outside, they look at you when you open the door, they nod. Some of them, like, grunt with a smile on their face. And, they mostly leave you alone. There's one person who keeps eyeing you. Well, you and the strange, thin, tall dragonborn following you around wearing a trench coat, who seems to be drunk already. And that person eyeing you is a dark-skinned dwarf, a woman, sporting white, well, dyed white hair, because you can see her roots in a mohawk. She's wearing piles and piles of furs from different animals, some of them not native to this area. And next to her, leaning against the table, are a pair of axes. And she's holding a mug in her hand, just swishing whatever ale or whatever drink is inside. And she looks at you and she just keeps following you as you make your way through the inn.
No, that's not a very good insight, so I don't really put two and two together that she might be somebody who was mentioned previously in a conversation. So instead, she's just a person that I'm going to sort of eyeball curiously, and then noticing that the damnable kobolds are still behind me, I'm going to turn to hiss at them. Do you want to be murdered in broad daylight? Because you're certainly working towards it.
The stomach of the Dragonborn replies, "No! Why, I thought the disguise worked."
I'm going to like lean down like I'm about to talk to his stomach and then stop up to look at his face and be like, just no. It's, and I'm gonna just like look at him, just be like, don't speak, don't speak. And then I'm gonna turn around, I'm gonna walk back, and I'm gonna go to the innkeeper and just be like, "Is my room still prepared?"
Aye, it is. You can retire whenever you want, though, you had rented it for only a night, haven't you?
Yes. I hadn't used it for a night yet, haven't I?
Fair point. Alright, you can still have it for the night.
Good. I'm not really set to retire just yet. Was anybody looking for me yet? Notes? Messages? Were we all too busy with your pile?
Haven't received anything for you in the last day.
There was that troll Bane. Did they come back from wherever they were? You said they were upstairs in their room.
And the dwarven woman would just say, "Aye, that be me."
Oh, good. And I would turn back to the kobolds and be like, "Go to my room and do not come out." Like, very quietly. And then be like, "Yes, just the person I was looking for." and I would go over to her table.
All right. Before going to your room, the kobolds will order 3 mugs of ale.
Why wouldn't they?
And carry them up the stairs, spilling some of its content on the staircase as they shuffle their way up. They are very dexterous, very acrobatics. And you sit down in front, facing Trollbane, Helene Trollbane. She says, "Who are you?"
I am a friend of the town, for the time being anyways. We just returned those children. I understand you were looking for some frost wolves?
No. I mean, killing the frost wolves is a thing, but I'm looking into something a little deadlier. A little more challenging than a wolf.
I thought you were the hunter for this town here. I was just here to give you the heads up, but you're looking for a challenge?
I'm not from this town, but I am a hunter. I hunt people. And she...
Oh, he would definitely lean in close when she says that and be like, ooh, do tell.
She settles in her chair and opens up some layers of her fur and grabs a dagger made out of pure ice. And she sets it on the table.
That is quite interesting.
That isn't mine. Belongs to my quarry. Something's going on. Something strange going on in the Vale.
You could certainly say that.
I mean, aside from the sky. Seems that the developments as of late have emboldened certain people.
Now, what sort of people would possibly be emboldened by eternal night?
I know of a few. But it's not the night in this case, it's the cold. You've ever seen someone walking with just breeches and a tunic in this weather? Because I have.
You would stop for a second and think of Heliphine and be like, well, a person? No.
Pause for dramatic effect. Yeah, I've seen him. Yep.
And here, in Dugan's Hole, like he says Dugan's Hole, not quite like a slur, but very much like he had to spit it out of his mouth.
Had to spit out Dugan's hole, just
Yeah,
to be clear.
it was catching in
all
your,
right.
it caught a little bit in his throat, like Dugan's Hole, like.
Just no. You're making it worse. Stop.
He was here. And he's gonna be somewhere else. I don't know the pattern just yet, but he's been going around doing the goddess's work.
Goddess's work. Well, seems a bit above my pay grade. And yours, if you don't mind me saying.
That's why I'm looking for help. Can't be everywhere at once. There's a bounty on his head in Bryn Shander.
I imagine.
The Blue
Bryn
Ghost, they call him.
Shanders. Does that ring any bells with me and my character? the name?
You
Since
can
I had
make-
spent time in Bryn Shander.
You can make an intelligence check.
Let's see. Straight intelligence. Oh, wait, I think I did a saving throw, not a check. My
Yeah,
bad.
but you're not proficient in saving throws anyway, I think.
No, I'm not. So yeah, be the same
It
thing.
wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with the 14, you remember seeing a wanted poster on a board, a public board in the marketplace of Bryn Shander not too long ago. But, you know, you didn't stop to look at it in detail or anything, but the name Blue Ghost was written on it.
So you've
Elisa
been
just
hunting.
burst through the doors of the inn, screaming, "Who had the nerve to commit such a crime? Speak up!"
Yeah, Sadakia follows her, and for effect, she prestidigitates like flames coming up off of her, her shoulders and her head. Like she looks really mad.
One of the patrons falls off his chair. Helene looks at Alize coming in, and she just takes the dagger and slides it back into her coat.
Can we make a perception check to catch it?
Definitely.
I suck at those.
And if Elephine and Etten at some point after the hug made their way to the inn, just let me know.
It doesn't matter if I suck at those. Alize does not.
One
Well,
thing
she's looking out for everybody because she's demanding who the hell is responsible.
right.
Oh wow, nat one. Yeah, she kind of fumbles with the dagger a little. So both Alize and Sarkia would see Helene take the dagger and try to slide it quickly under her fur.
Alyssa takes a mental note, but is not worried about it at the moment. She goes to the person who fell off their chair and just hovers over him. Who was not at the pile last night?
Sadakia will actually walk over to the dwarf and put her hand on the dagger before she puts it under her coat.
You didn't see it because she didn't make a note and she didn't tell you about it.
No, she saw it because
No.
I
Oh,
rolled
she
before.
saw. Okay, I thought you said only.
I saw, no, the dwarf rolled a nat 1
Yeah.
against my, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so Alize, or I'm not Alize. Sadakia will put her hand on the dagger and say, how about you leave that out? We'll talk about it in a minute.
The person on the floor says, I swear, ma'am, everyone was at the pile. Everyone is always at the pile.
How do you know everyone was at pile? Did you actually see every single person at the pile all night long?
We count the people going in. If they go out in the middle of the night, we don't know. So people go out.
Wow. Leave the warmth of the pile to go out.
Bio breaks.
Where? How far?
Outhouse behind the inn. It's only a few steps. You're not gonna get frostbitten or anything. You can't really get lost. It's a short walk.
Have you noticed anybody who's been gone longer than a quick bio break? Say maybe it felt more like a number 2 than 1.
No, I swear, everyone stayed in or left for only a short amount of time. I'm pretty, and he tries to look at the other patrons like that were sitting at his table, and they also nod, like, yeah, we were all there, ma'am. We swear. It's just, you know, we've been doing it for a while now.
Did anybody new come to town after we left?
And they shake their heads no, but the dwarf says, aye. Someone obviously did.
She just grabs them from the chest like as clothes, picks them back, like put them on the chair, and heads back to the dwarf.
Helifine and Etten.
Yeah, so after we break our hug, does Etten want to clean up at his house at all?
Yeah, he is down for a minute, but then he just starts putting his. Did you take the battle axe, Sarkia? He just starts putting his shrine back together. Oh, I'll have to get a few more pieces. That took me a while to compile, but okay, it'll be okay. Oh, it's such an evil thing to do.
Helifino pick up like pieces of broken pottery and like overturned furniture and things like that, and just so Etten,
Yes.
Your name.
Yes.
Oh, I can't help but notice it's a giant word.
That's correct. Yes.
Did you grow up around giants?
Well, no.
It seems kind of strange that you'd have a giant's word for a name without. Who started calling you Etten?
My mother.
But why?
Well, because I was small.
It's one of those ironic nicknames.
You were small
Yes, yes, yes.
compared to the rest of your family.
Well, yes, and everybody else.
So, you know what? We can unpack this emotional baggage later. But why did they call you a runt?
Because I was a runt. Everybody
Compared
else
to
was.
everyone else.
Yeah, they were large, and I was small, and
So-
they were white, and I was blue.
But so you say they were large and you were small.
It's correct.
So compared to your size, they would be giant.
Well, I grew into it, but the name stuck.
You know what? Why don't I help you clean up?
Okay.
And I'll just continue to pick up broken pieces of his household. And whenever Etten felt that he was happy with the way that, well, less unhappy with the way that things are in his house, I'd say, you know what? Why don't we go catch the others and go get a warm bite to eat? Maybe make a pile.
I do like piles, and maybe we can have some cooked knucklehead trout instead of just the knucklehead trout jerky. Here I have a bag of it somewhere if you would like.
No, that's
I
okay.
left some.
No, it's fine.
I'll reach under my mattress and pull out some more fish jerky.
I actually don't eat meat.
It's barely meat.
No, I only eat vegetables.
Oh, there's not many of those here.
I know. Please put that away.
Okay. I'll put it in my pocket.
As you go to leave your house, Etten, you feel, now that you've put the shrine back together, a sense of warmth, like a wave of hot wind blow over you. And for the briefest moment, the sky above Dugan's Hole was not twilight covered by auroras, but just a cloudless, sunny day, which immediately turned back to darkness. And that's where we're gonna stop the game tonight.
Well, it's a sign.
It's
The
a sign.
power of friendship.
Etten made sunshine.
Aww. Etten is the sunshine.
Yeah, like
Aw.
literally, it's anybody that my character's supposed to be all neutral and shit, but I'm like, you just mess with Etten. Etten is the best of us.
But if my
So-
character was anywhere near you when you guys were having your conversation before the Etten part,
We would have
he
killed
would have
him.
wanted to put you in an asylum because you guys were talking crazy talk.
So this is kind of funny because in our Call of Cthulhu game last week, Justice killed a beloved innocent character for no reason whatsoever. So it's
was
like what
reason.
goes around comes around, buddy.
Oh, karma.
Well then, I hope you had fun, players, with tonight's session. We're gonna slowly delve into the greater mysteries of Icewind Dale starting next week.
Definitely slowly, because we argue about which room we're gonna sleep in for like an hour.
Yeah, we don't make decisions very easily here.
And that's
Are-
okay.
Are we taking off next week?
Yeah, next week for taking off for.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
because
yes,
Diana
that
and-
is true. Yes, there won't be... I forgot, we're already at the end of October. Oof. We'll be back in 2 weeks, actually. So no streams on the 2nd of November. And we will be back on the 9th for some more... What?
Nothing. It's fine.
Rime of the Frostmaiden. Let's go around the table and introduce our guest. Or actually, if you have anything to plug, let's go ahead and do so. Let's go around the table. Don't forget, players, if you want to put links in chat, you are free to do so. If you want to link to your socials, to your Twitch channel, anything, go right ahead. We'll do the same order for outros as we did intros, so we will begin with Kelly.
Oh, hi. I'm Kelly, known as the Opera Geek, and I am a variety streamer here on Twitch, as well as playing tabletop games on other people's channels. And I don't have too much to plug because our Dragon Age game ended last week. Season 2. We'll be back. Hopefully. Maybe.
Yes, we need to deal with your ending.
Listen. Anyway, so yeah, I do play a lot of games here on Twitch. Right now I'm playing through the original PlayStation 1, Symphony of the Night, Castlevania, which is always fun. I actually have a thing for the social thing, and I'm trying to find it. I thought you were going to go the other direction. And other than that, you can visit my Twitter, and and I post everything there as well. So yeah, that's me, and I'm married to him. Feel bad for me.
Who's the next person?
I mean, she can't prove it, so I'm Pirate Jesus, or Ragnar, or Fancy Pants, or Fancy Lad, because no one has yet gotten my name, because this is the rudest group I've ever played with.
I asked you.
No, we don't care.
Wait, I asked you, and then you bribed me to go away, which I
Yeah.
took because I had no money.
Yeah, no, that's about sums up the group so far. Yes, and I am here and just around to make her life as much fun as I can.
Isn't marriage great? Next up is Tumai.
Hi, I'm Tumai. My husband is not in the game. And you can find me as Professor XR on Twitter. I do like playing video games and excited about Cyberpunk coming out next month. So yay to that. And I just, my only plug here is that I just got into the organizing team for the next hackathon in Boston. So yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I will use these next 2 weeks to do everything in my power possible to melt that ice battle axe.
She just comes back with a list of things she wants to try, and
I
that's
know.
what the episode will be.
At some point, there's like build a flamethrower.
Icewind Dale Mythbusters Edition.
Scientific theory.
And up next, Justice.
Hi, everybody. I am Stash Mandu on all the socials. I am half the team over at Bard and Barbarian. We do a variety of tabletop streams, and we also have a website from which you can purchase cool Bard and Barbarian themed gifts, including some real nice dice. I beat you to it. Diana is the other half of that team, and we have a lot of fun doing the things that we do. And we are moving into our house next week. So we are the ones that are responsible for not doing streams next week. So sorry.
Not a
Also, I've
problem.
decided that into the cuddle pile shall be like into the Thunderdome. All people enter, all people leave. Happier.
Warmer, at least.
Warmer.
Maybe slightly
Oh
uncomfortable.
no,
But...
no.
Oh, mate, you're bringing on the cuddle pile. That is all.
It's funny because I'll do it after. Diana, you're next.
So like he said, I'm the other half of Bard and Barbarian. We do lots and lots of Call of Cthulhu these days on our Twitch channel. You can find me all over the place, so follow the Twitter. I have a couple charity games coming up this month. Some exciting stuff there. And, during the daylight, the waking hours, I'm the affiliate manager for Die Hard Dice, so I do that too. That's a neat thing. That's all. And apparently I have to make Kelly some pet hoodies. I'm going to make Scotty some hoodies.
We had a discussion about this. It was decided, Justice, I'm sorry you weren't there, but it's merchandising.
That's quite all right.
I wasn't involved either in any way.
It doesn't matter. We're making Scotty a pet hoodie.
Yeah, executive decisions.
Hello, Scotty. So I am Simon at Wandering DM. You can find us here on Friday this week because there's no stream on Thursday. We're going to be back with Cyberpunk as we get closer and closer to the release of Cyberpunk Red on November 19th and November 14th for the PDF. You can also find me over on Level Up Dice on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern for Scion, Birth of the New Gods. And then back here in 2 weeks for some more Rime of the Frostmaiden. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to Roll20, to Mage and Press. Thank you to Level Up Dice and to Found Familiar. And thank you to all of you players for coming to play. And we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.